find, my respected brothers, until and unless the believers, the Muslims, will not invite one another towards Islam and towards bringing practical Islam in their lives, then there is fear that they will get invited towards the way of others. As long as we will be inviting others towards Islam and towards practical Islam, then this in fact will constitute a protection for us from being invited towards the way of others. This is an intrinsic truth. This is haqq. This is irrefutable. That as long as this ummah will be firm on da'wat, then they will be firm on deen also. By giving the da'wat of deen, istiqamat of deen will come alive. Every fard ummat, we have to give the da'wat to every individual of this ummat, not only to bring deen in his life, but to bring the amal of da'wat also in his life. Our object is not just to bring amal alive, but we have to bring the da'wat of amal alive. Because as long as this ummati will be giving da'wat, through that da'wat his own deen will be protected. As when he stops giving da'wat, then he will get invited towards the way of others, and istiqamat of deen will come out of his life. So we find, my respected brothers, Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi used to reiterate this in this manner. He used to say, when the ummat will leave giving the da'wat of deen, then they will leave deen also. So this is our responsibility, that we have to bring every ummati onto the da'wat of deen. Muazzin gives azan. Azan is da'wat. A muazzin is a da'i. As long as this ummat will be firm on da'wat, as long as they will be inviting, then no matter how much wealth or how much power batil will possess, batil will never ever be able to attract them away from Islam as long as they are on da'wat. Consider the incident of Abdullah bin Huzafa Sahmi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. That famous incident, that Roman king, his people came and told him that that group that is working nearby, amongst them is a Sahabi. Abdullah bin Huzafa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu is captured, brought in the court of that Nasrani Christian king. What does he tell him? He says to him that if you will leave your deen and you will come into Christianity, then I am prepared to give you half my kingdom. What is the response of Abdullah bin Huzafa Sahmi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu? He says, leave half your kingdom if you give me your whole kingdom and the kingdom of all the kings of the entire Arab world, then even to the extent of the blinking of an eyelid, I am not prepared to leave the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This kayfiyat and this capacity and salahiyat has come out of the ummat when the ummat left the da'wat of deen. This amal of da'wat of deen is not only for Sahaba, my respected brothers. The generation after Sahaba also. If we will bring da'wat in our lives, then whatever will come against us, we will be able to stand firm against it. And whatever difficulties and hardship and persecution will come upon the ummah, if they are on da'wat, that capacity will be created in the ummah to withstand that difficulty and protect their deen. Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say, as long as the ummah is da'i, giving invitation, then they will not become invited. As long as they are inviters, they will never be invited. Through da'wat, hifazat and protection of deen will take place. And through da'wat, istiqamat, perseverance on the amal of deen also will come alive. Let us understand, my respected brothers, this is haqq, this is truth, and this applies to every era, every phase, every facet of human history, that this ummah never came out of problem. This ummah never came out of loss and difficulty until and unless the ummah came upon da'wat. Allah Ta'ala does not need to take qasam and oath. Allah Ta'ala's speech in itself, Allah's utterance in itself carries sufficient weight. Yet, despite this, Allah Ta'ala takes qasam and oath, wal asr. Allah Ta'ala takes qasam on time, that innal insana lafi khusr, entire humanity is at loss, unless four things will come alive. Illa alladhina amanu, wa amilu salihat, wa tawasaw bil haqq, wa tawasaw bis sabr. Iman, amal salihah, inviting one another towards iman and amal salihah. And the difficulties and hardships that will come in this invitation, and joining upon one another, sabr in the face of these adversities. If only iman and amal salihah was sufficient, then those who have iman and amal salihah, there is no need to make effort upon them. But on qasam, Allah Ta'ala says, all four things have to be found. Ulama have written that this concept or this idea that until and unless there is no amal in my life, I cannot give da'wat. It is not my responsibility to invite others unless there is amal and deen in my life. We find that this incorrect idea has spread amongst us. We hear this often said, that first make amal, then give da'wat. Until you don't have amal in your life, it is not your responsibility to give da'wat. We find, my respected brothers, this we cannot find anywhere in Quran and Hadith. You will not find this anywhere in Quran and Hadith. Definitely in Quran and Hadith you will find that if you have amal in your life, Allah commands you to give da'wat also. You will not find that if there is no amal in your life, you must not give da'wat. We find, my respected brothers, in fact, the one who has no amal in his life, he is more in need. He is more in need to speak about and invite towards the benefit of amal. This da'wat that we are giving, this invitation that we are giving is for our islah, is for our reformation, is for our purification. Through da'wat, we will be purified. Through da'wat, we will come onto amal. Only that person is free from the requirement of making his islah, who is shaitan or a munafiq. Besides that, everyone, it is a requirement that we have to make effort on our own islah. And through da'wat, the object of this da'wat is our own reformation, to bring us onto namaz. So ulama have written, my respected brothers, that the example of a person who says that if you don't have amal in your life, you must not give da'wat. They say his example is like that person who says that if I am not reading namaz, I mustn't give zakat also. Namaz is farz, zakat is a separate farz. If you are not making namaz, that is one guna. If you are not giving zakat, that is another guna. It doesn't mean that if you are not reading namaz, you mustn't read zakat also. In the same way, making amal practical, practicing upon deen is an injunction upon ourselves. Giving da'wat of deen is another command of Allah. It does not mean that if one command is not found, you must leave out the other command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This giving da'wat, my respected brothers, is the wazifa, is the responsibility of every mu'min, every believer, whether he has amal in his life or not. Hazrat Maulana Tanvi rahmatullah alayhi used to say that that good deed which I wanted to bring in my life, I would give da'wat towards that good deed. And that wrong which I wanted to bring out of my life, I would speak to others about the harms of that wrong. This was the tariqah and the way by which I brought deen alive in my life.